everyone, this is the Left, Right and Centre and I'm Maria Shakil. On Saturday, the Prime Minister gave us a glimpse of what the new BJP's electioneering will be in Lok Sabha polls of 2024. As world-class infrastructure is built in Ayodhya, the temple town would see a convergence of virasat, heritage, with vikas, that is development. If 30th December was about development push, 22nd January will be about spirituality and heritage. As the country gears up for the consecration ceremony of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the invitations to attend the ceremony is being extended to several politicians, businessmen, sportspersons and prominent people from all walks of life. So one would expect one and all being invited to attend. But the politics, as always, has taken center stage, and list of those who are undecided or would not be attending is being discussed more. The dilemma of whether to attend or not to has also divided the India bloc. Also on the show, another successful mission by ISRO. On the first day of the year, a mission to find out more about black holes, one of the biggest mysteries of the universe. We'll discuss that in the second half of the show. And amidst speculation over Congress leader Sonia Gandhi's presence at the Ram Temple opening, now Congress leader and Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Sukhu has said that he has not been officially invited, but he will attend the ceremony on 22nd of January. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took a dig at the opposition on this remark, saying those who hesitated to talk about Ayodhya are now saying they will attend the inaugural event. Listen in.
नहीं, अभी कोई अयोध्या से इनविटेशन नहीं आया है और अयोध्या से इनविटेशन ना भी आए, राम हमारी आस्था के केंद्र है, हमारे आदर्श है और हमारे उनकी जो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम हैं, जो उन्होंने जो हमें प्रेरणा उनके जो ग्रंथों से हमें मिलती है, हम सब लोग उन अयोध्या में राम मंदिर बना है, उस दृष्टिकोण से जब भी कोई इनविटेशन आएगा या इनविटेशन नहीं भी आता है तो भी हमारा ये दायित्व बनता है कि हम सब लोग उनकी जो दिखाए हुए रास्ते उस पर चले।
आज देखिए, अयोध्या जाने में लोग संकोच करते थे, अयोध्या का नाम लेने में जिनको संकोच होता था, आज वे भी कहते हैं कि हमें भी निमंत्रण मिलेगा तो हम भी जाएंगे। ये परिवर्तन है, यही परिवर्तन है। आप अपनी ताकत का एहसास कराएंगे तो हर व्यक्ति आपके साथ जुड़ेगा।
So, Ian Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP, is joining us. Sanjay Jha, political analyst. We have Dr. Mahua Manji, member of parliament of the JMM. Also on the show, Dr. Sajjan Kumar, political analyst, and Pradeep Kumar Bhati, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Pradeep Bhati, सबसे पहले आपके पास, will Akhilesh Yadav be attending the ceremony if invited?
Good evening, and I wish you and all your viewers a very happy and prosperous new year. Religion is never been it's always been a private affair for us. BJP, who has always tried to politicize the religion and bringing religion into politics, it has always been a dangerous thing, which BJP is playing from last few years. In fact, if I say in 1989 only, BJP has first time thought of bringing Ram Mandir or Ram Janmabhoomi issue into the politics. They have
Mr.
never
Bhati,
before that.
22nd can be one day where India can move beyond Ayodhya if all the politicians ensure that it becomes an apolitical event only when all can be present. So my question is again a direct question, will Akhilesh Yadav be attending it?
Attending event and not attending event will not decide the fate of being a religious person or being a political party who believe in religion and believe in the faith of religion. So you're asking me, I am giving you a direct reply that
yes,
whatever
politics can be avoided certainly on that day. That's the reason why I'm asking again and again Sanjay Jha and others, that if those who are invited attend it, and that includes leaders, heads of political parties across the spectrum, then don't you think that it will not be a BJP event, it will become an all-party event?
Yeah, Maria, I tend to agree with you. I think the opposition, India Alliance and anybody else must attend it. It's a very historic event. it is definitely one that the majority community in India will feel delighted about, because this is about the core faith of the Hindu community. And more important, I think the opposition needs to understand that the BJP will politically hijack the event as much as they can. And one of the easiest ways to actually deflate that and to ensure that, nobody has this false notion that the BJP and the RSS is the custodian of Hinduism is to be part of the event. Remember, Maria, that the Ram temple is being constructed finally only because the Supreme Court gave a unanimous verdict on a dispute that was lingering for a long time. The BJP can keep making its political statement that it was there in the manifesto, but the truth is it's a Supreme Court verdict, and therefore the opposition parties need to be very pragmatic and intelligent here, because the BJP is just going to play politics if you allow them an opportunity to do so.
Okay, Dr. Mahua Maji, what is JMM doing?
जी
JMM क्या करेगी?
हाँ, सबसे पहले नमस्कार और नए साल की ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। जेएमएम, हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन जी ने तो साफ कह दिया है कि अगर हमारे पास इनविटेशन आएगा तो हम जरूर जाएंगे, क्योंकि ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वर्डिक्ट से ही ये निर्माण आरंभ हुआ और ये किसी पार्टी विशेष का कार्यक्रम नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि इसमें जितने खर्च हुए हैं वो सरकार के पैसे हैं, वो किसी पार्टी विशेष का पैसा नहीं है। इसमें जो भी आयोजन हो रहा है, जो भी हो रहा है, वो किसी पार्टी का पैसा नहीं है, भाजपा का पैसा नहीं है, किसी पार्टी विशेष का अपना इवेंट नहीं बनाना चाहिए और ना ही इसे किसी राजनीतिक कारणों से चुनावी फायदे के लिए इसे किया जाना चाहिए। सभी पार्टियों को बराबर का हक है वहां जाने का और जाना भी चाहिए, और मंदिर पर सबका अधिकार है और कोई स्पेशल डेट में ही सब लोग जाएं ऐसा भी नहीं है। सब अपनी मर्जी से जब चाहे जा सकते हैं, वो सबके लिए खुला है।
जी,
हमारे सीएम को भी इनविटेशन आएगा तो निश्चित रूप से जाएंगे हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से।
आपको लगता है कि इंडिया की जो इंडिया ब्लॉक का बाकी सब जो पार्टीज हैं उन लोगों को भी जाना चाहिए, इस पर कोई विवाद नहीं होना चाहिए कि जाएं या ना जाएं, ये सोचना भी नहीं चाहिए, अगर इनविटेशन आ रहा है तो जाएं?
देखिए, ये क्या है ना कि इतनी सारी पार्टियां एक साथ हैं, लेकिन सबके अपने अपने आइडियोलॉजी हैं, सबके अपनी अपनी घोषणा पत्र हैं, सबके अपनी सोच है। ये व्यक्तिगत राय पर भी डिपेंड करता है, वो व्यक्ति पर्सनली वो कितना धार्मिक है, कितना धार्मिक नहीं है, तो ये उनका पर्सनल मैटर है। इसके लिए कोई पार्टी दूसरे पार्टी को थोप नहीं सकती या उस पर कोई आदेश जारी नहीं कर सकती।
Here is Sukhvinder Sukhu who is saying that he would like to attend, and then Yogi Adityanath laughs at him, mocks him. I mean, this is what the opposition fears, that if they will attend, they'll be laughed at by saying that, you played a role in blocking the construction. You had your lawyers stand against the construction and the entire solution that came from the apex court. And then we are seeing that play out. I mean, so
good evening.
Any kind of political statement should be avoided, certainly. Don't you think so?
Well, good evening, Maria. Very happy New Year to you and to everybody. Before I come to that, let me, humbly advise JMM that before Hemant Soren goes to the Ram temple, he must go to the ED, because the ED has sent him 7th summon, and ideally he should present him before he gets arrested. The point is, it's a fact that the opposition has had an extremely dubious, extremely duplicitous attitude towards Ram temple. In fact, Kapil Sibal in 2017 had made an extra effort to get the decision on Ram temple postponed, because somewhere the Congress was hallucinating that it would come to power in 2019 and stall the temple construction forever. Now, they might say that BJP has no role, but the fact is that things got expedited even in the Supreme Court only after a BJP government took over in Uttar Pradesh in 2017, because apparently the then state government in Uttar Pradesh prior to 2017 had withheld very important documents which needed translation, and simple translation was not being undertaken by the state government. So yes, the opposition has had a very, dubious role on the Ram temple. Today, if they wish to come, there ideally should not be any politics. But again, they don't seem to be. RJD is linking it with Manowad. In fact, Udit Raj is linking it with Manowad. So I think the opposition also needs to get out of its confusion.
Okay, opposition should get out of the confusion. What exactly is the confusion?
Maria.
Well, I mean, RJD is linking it to Manowad. Apparently, posters have been put up in Patna against the temple, asking for construction of hospitals and schools first.
I think that got settled long ago. ये महुआ माँ जी, ये सब आप विवाद कौन खड़ा कर रहा है? 22
कोई नहीं
जनवरी से
खड़ा कर
लेकर
रहा है,
विवाद उस तारीख को लेकर के कौन विवाद खड़ा कर रहा है?
देखिए, तारीख को लेकर विवाद नहीं है, किसी पार्टी विशेष के द्वारा इसका फायदा चुनाव में लिए जाने पर लोगों को ऑब्जेक्शन है। अगर कोई देश में अगर मंदिर बन रहा है तो उसको इतना ज्यादा पॉलिटिकलाइज क्यों किया जा रहा है, और कोई एक पार्टी विशेष ऐसे दिखा रही है। आपने देखा होगा कि हर घर से जो मिट्टी लेके जाना और ये करना, उसमें एक पार्टी विशेष के लोग ही क्यों इन्वॉल्व हैं? अगर ये ऐसा मंदिर का आयोजन है तो उस तरह से करना चाहिए। एक ऐसा लग रहा है जैसे कॉपीराइट है किसी पार्टी का उसमें, उस मंदिर पे। ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वर्डिक्ट से हुआ है, और इसको ठीक चुनाव के पहले ही किया जाना, और उसके बाद करके उसको इस तरह से फायदा उठाना, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है
So
कि
how
हमारे
can
देश
opposition
में
counter it? I want to understand from you, Dr. Sajjan Kumar. Look, the stage is set, the narrative is set.
कोशिश होती है, ये गलत है, इस पर ऑब्जेक्शन है सबको।
Yes. So if 30th was about sending that message of development, and also saying that a city which is about virasat or heritage, tradition, culture will be seeing development at the same time. So we are seeing that effort to, for the Prime Minister to position himself in a different way. But how do you avoid politics over it? Invariably, this will be seen as a BJP event.
Exactly. I mean, as a political party, BJP will try to do its best to be the exclusive political beneficiary of the event on 22nd. But how to get out of that kind of frame that BJP is presenting? The best way is to be a participant to the event, not to boycott it. Because if you boycott it, as a politician, as a political party, you are at the receiving end, because then you are losing on the sentiment of the majority of the voters. Because mind it, today, the false binary of cultural politics versus material politics is no more a reality. This is one. Second thing, this entire issue of dilemma is based on an erroneous assumption. The non-BJP parties and some of the secular party, some of the regional party and a section of the Congress are sharing the false assumption that if you attend the Pran Pratishtha, then the Muslim electorate who you want to get in bulk will be antagonistic. How are you sure about that? Because we on the field do not get the kind of antagonistic Muslim electorate if a party tries to be a part of any sort of a Hindu religiosity. This is an assumption that political parties and some of their ideologues have entranced, and therefore they are making the move. So this entire assumption that if you go there, then vis-a-vis other non-BJP party, you will lose out on the benefit of a unified Muslim vote bank is a part of the past.
Okay, so is that the view of the Samajwadi Party, Mr. Bhatti, that if you attend this, you tend to lose on your constituency, a captive audience?
It's nothing more than a laughable comment. If somebody is going for this religious affair, is going to lose the vote. That is what BJP. And Amara, please hear me out completely. Please not cut me short. I was referring one point. We have already said that if invited, or even if not, we'll go in future or this date or that date. That doesn't make much difference. If you have a religious faith, you have your faith in the religion, you always can go any time. But what I was referring to, which is more important point, is in 1989, the first time when the BJP put this Janmabhoomi issue into their, bring that thing into their manifesto. Before that, they were even not into double digits of the vote share they were getting from Jansangh time to the BJP form till 1989. And they saw that putting one line, they crossed that double digit figure of vote share in the elections. So next time they...
No, but Mr. Bhatti, what is stopping you from evolving your politics? What is stopping any other party from evolving its politics?
We will not go will not do our politics based what BJP is doing. We have our own values and faith intact. So we are not going to do in the way the BJP is doing that.
Okay,
but
fine. Sanjay Jha, please. Sanjay Jha on the screen now.
One more point. One second. Just one more point. He was referring about the who was advocate who in the Supreme Court about this. So let me refer one of the more advocate Mr. Subramanian, what he said about Mr. Modi has zero contribution to the Ram Mandir issue.
Sanjay
he
Jha
should
now,
also
please.
remember
Sanjay
that.
Jha, please
So
respond.
these are things are also important. If they are referring, then refer the other
Maria.
point of view.
Yes,
also, which they
yes,
are
other point of view is
referring to.
also being discussed here. Please go ahead.
Maria,
Sanjay Jha.
I think Tuhin Sinha made a comment on Kapil Sibal in 2017 telling the Supreme Court, and he says because the idea was to stop the Ram construction temple, it's a blatant lie, it's an outrageous falsehood, and I need to call him out on the public, very popular program of yours. Kapil Sibal was saying exactly what many people in the country feel, that if the verdict is given one way or the other, nobody knew which way the Supreme Court will do, the BJP will only play a very crude religious politics. It had nothing to do with the construction of the temple. So that's a lie, and I need to expose Tuhin on that. There are 2 points that we must remember when we talk about the Ram temple issue, Maria. Number one, and that is a fact, it's a Supreme Court verdict. Invitations have been issued by the Ram Temple Trust, and therefore, as I think somebody rightly mentioned, why is the BJP pretending to be the custodian of a very eclectic, tolerant religion like Hinduism? They use Hindutva for votes. They have no claim on Hinduism at all. And my second point, this is the same party, Maria, where the Chief Minister Kalyan Singh gave a written affidavit to the Supreme Court of India that he will not let the Babri Masjid be destroyed. And that's exactly what happened. So this is a party that will stoop to the lowest common denominator.
My question is, Sanjay Jha, and this is to everyone, can politicians and India's politics move beyond Ayodhya after the Ram temple is built and that domain is settled? You know, the Supreme Court has already, no sir, the Supreme Court has already settled this debate.
Right, but Maria,
then why are we still discussing it the way it is being discussed?
Maria, for 2 reasons. One is the BJP is forcing this conversation into the mainstream debate. And
so why is Tuhin Sinha, why are you forcing it?
They are already talking about Mathura and Kashi.
Maria,
Tuhin Sinha, why are you forcing it? One moment.
Maria, the opposition is in deep trauma today, because of which it is sounding incoherent. Just 5 years ago, people like Sanjay Jha would taunt us on television shows, the mandir wahi banayenge, tareekh nahi batayenge. Today, when the tareekh is decided, you know, they are confused whether they should go or no. So those who are getting invitation, they are, you know, they are increasingly saying what is BJP's role in that. And those who have not got invitation are clamoring for it, because, you know, either way they want to play the victim if they don't get it, and refuse it if they get it by saying that it's a BJP event. Fact is that from 1989 onwards, if there is one party which has consistently stood for the cause of the Ram temple, it has been the BJP. You know, unlike the Congress party, which in 2005 filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court denying the existence of Bhagwan Ram. So for us, it is not politics. We are very unapologetic. We are very proud of standing up for Hindu sentiments, which is something the Congress party could never do. And this is written in history. Even in 1951, ideally, you know, the Prime Minister Nehru, then Prime Minister, should have gone for the inauguration of Somnath Temple. You know, it's a revival of India's pride. It was a momentous occasion in our history. But then he tried to prevent the then President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, from going. And the result is there. You know, people can't tolerate Congress party's hypocrisy when it comes to Hindu sentiments, and the results are evident.
Because 22nd will be one of those watershed moments, and who attends or doesn't attend will also decide the direction of their politics. Dr. Maji.
देखिए, जहां तक मेरी पार्टी की बात है, आपको पता होगा कि झारखंड में जितनी भी तरह के फेस्टिवल्स होते हैं, मुझे लगता है झारखंड एक मिनी भारत है, जहां हमारे देश के तमाम तरह के जाति धर्म के लोग रहते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ इंडस्ट्री है, माइंस है। तो यहाँ पे हमारे सीएम और हमारी पार्टी के लोग हर तरह के फेस्टिवल में जाते हैं, चाहे वो हिंदू का हो, मुस्लिम का हो, सिख का हो, ईसाई का हो, आदिवासियों का हो। इसलिए हमारे तरफ से वहां जाने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। इसलिए हमारे सीएम ने कहा है कि हमारे यहाँ के जो यहाँ पे अगर इनविटेशन आएगा तो वो निश्चित रूप से जाएंगे। और हमारे झारखंड के जो लोग हैं, उनका दिल इतना बड़ा है कि यहाँ पर इस तरह से भेदभाव कभी किसी ने नहीं देखा। सारे लोग एक साथ स्कूल कॉलेज में जाते हैं, सभी लोग जो होली मनाते हैं, दीपावली मनाते हैं, वो ईद और मुहर्रम भी मनाते हैं। इसलिए हम लोग इस तरह की पॉलिटिक्स कभी नहीं करते, खासतौर पर झारखंड से हम लोग बिलोंग करते हैं। तो इस तरह की पॉलिटिक्स भाजपा करती है अपने क्षेत्रों में, जहां से वो जीत कर आती है।
नहीं, लेकिन आप
Maharaj,
अगर
just one small point.
जी, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that let's not question the intelligence of the people that going there or going or not going there will decide the fate of a religion. So let's not demean such a big religion. Second thing, I'm glad that
No,
BJP
I'm not
spokesperson
saying anything on that
accepted-
context. I'm
accepted
essentially
that
talking
for
about the
1989.
politics of it, Mr.
Just one
Bhatti.
line.
My
Just
limited
one line.
point is, Mr. Bhatti, we are talking about the
I'm
politics
not-
of it.
I'm not
Why
saying-
should
I'm
that day
talking
be
about-
political at all? That's my
No,
question.
I'm talking about the BJP, not talking about you. And second thing, I'm glad that BJP spokesperson accepted that in 1989, actually, the flag bearer of Hindutva have decided for the politics that, okay, we'll do that in 1989, they'll decide it. So I'm glad they have accepted that this is only done for the politics. They are not the flag bearer of Hinduism. And Hinduism is such a wide and good religion that everybody, and it acclimates everyone in whosoever
Okay, so
tries
why is
or whosoever comes into the
okay,
into
Dr.
the
Sajjan
religion
Kumar,
or-
why is there a dilemma at all? I'm just failing to understand why should there be a dilemma at all in attending or not to attending.
Hey, one of the reason for the dilemma, and that is apparent, is among the non-BJP parties, the captive vote bank. I mean, they assume that a unified Muslim vote bank adds, because most of the non-BJP party, particularly the regional parties, are premised on one caste of Hinduism, and therefore they need in their calculation a unified Muslim vote bank. So one of the reason is also a kind of a subtle rivalry. They want to see how it will be impacting the psychology, electoral psychology of the Muslim community. And as I said, there is a erroneous assumption that Muslim masses would be antagonistic. This is one. Second thing, this is also a point because you are still living into the era of politics wherein BJP was not a force to reckon with. And you still want to, one of the problem of political outreach by the non-BJP party is that while they want a unified Muslim vote bank, when they approach the Muslim minority, they want the Muslims to vote as Muslims, not as a farmers, not as an unemployed, not as a youth, not as a rural or urban centric. But when you talk about a Hindu vote bank, suddenly the non-BJP parties tend to reach out to them as farmers, as unemployed, anything except Hindu. So this sort of hypocrisy and some sort of a discrepancy that we witness is the source of the dilemma. And that is why, mind it, 22nd is going to be a historical day and there would be a politics of memory in the future.
So politics of memory? Are you saying that?
Exactly.
Okay, that's a new coinage.
Because when post 22nd February 2024, you will look at which party attend. Not only the post Ayodhya moment will be arrived only after passing through Ayodhya, making it a event wherein everyone participated.
I
So one,
agree
they
with
should
you, Sajjan,
participate.
on
And
that
second, not only you should
post-Ayodhya
participate.
Can be arrived only by passing through Ayodhya. And in this memory, in public memory, whosoever attends or doesn't attend will be something that will be discussed. And that is the only way the narrative will be set about Ayodhya or whether India can move beyond Ayodhya because the Ram temple would have been, the ceremony would have been over after that date. So 30 seconds to all the panelists, beginning with you, Tuhin.
No, ideally, after the judgment came out in November 2019, the Congress, if it was serious, at least one senior leader should have paid a visit to the Ram temple. They have consistently made it very clear that they have nothing to do with the Ram temple, and ideally they should keep out, because there's no point in going ahead with this hypocrisy. The Samajwadi Party, if it wants to participate, obviously I'm not sure who is getting the invitation because that is being decided by the trust. But even if it gets the invitation, I think for the Samajwadi Party, this is a good time to apologize for the killings of the car sevaks in 1990. This is a good time for atonement. And, I think
Pradeep Bhatti?
I think this is a good time for BJP also to apologize for the mass killing in Rajasthan for 73 people, 73 Gujars, which were murdered because of they were asking for their rights. And the BJP government has to ask to apologize for that. Second thing I can say about Ram temple and the issue is these things have been discussed or this has been overhyped only because they want to save their face from the issues like inflation, issues like unemployment, issues like the 40 issues which are supposed to be get completed in 2022, including the doubling of farmers' income and other issues related to smart cities and lot many issues. So those issues they want to put those issues on the back burner, and that is the reason why they want to spend more time on this. The people are intelligent enough. They understand that these issues, faith issues, definitely they are part of our life. But more important is the bread, earning the bread. What about their employment? That is more important issue which government has to answer. So they cannot run away from
Sanjay
that.
Jha.
Maria, I have to make one short point. The audacity of the BJP to ask everyone to apologize. But do they know, does Tuhin know that over 2,000 people died in the aftermath of the Babri Masjid destruction, where the car sevaks who were the BJP supporters were saying, Ek dhakka aur do, Babri Masjid tod do. And Maria, look at the riots that have happened after that. India got fractured socially. Gujarat riots 2002, Muzaffarnagar 2013, Delhi 2020, Manipur 2023. All of them have the hand of the BJP and its supporters. And that's a tragedy of India. That end of day, we are fracturing our country because one political party wants to exploit basically the majority community for making them feel that the minority community is actually a threat to you. It's a tragedy. And I hope Indian voters will see through it.
I'm just saying that we have to move beyond politics on Ayodhya.
Absolutely.
And that is the time has come and it can only happen through Ayodhya. Yes, go ahead, Dr. Mahua Maji and then Sajjan.
एग्जैक्टली मैं भी यही कहना चाहूंगी कि मणिपुर इशू जो इतने महीनों पहले आरंभ हुआ था और अभी भी वहां हिंसा जारी है, अभी भी मास अंतिम संस्कार हो रहे हैं, लेकिन उस पर न तो बीजेपी कुछ कह रही है और न ही हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री जी। किस तरह से देश का ध्यान बटाकर एक तरफ कर देना और तमाम मुद्दों को गौण कर देना, 15 लाख रुपए कैश देंगे, बेरोजगारी भी दूर नहीं हुआ, नौकरी नहीं मिली, ये तमाम मुद्दे एक साइड में हो गए और पूरा देश ऐसा लग रहा है कि
जी चलिए डॉक्टर सज्जन कुमार फाइनल वर्ड्स
Yeah, I mean, India is soon going to be entering into.
नजदीक है, आप देश की सुरक्षा की बात नहीं करते, आप पार्लियामेंट में हमले की बात नहीं करते, अगर विपक्ष कोई भी सवाल करता है तो आप पूरे एक साथ 146 सांसदों को 43 सांसदों को निलंबित कर देते हैं। ये देश किधर जा रहा है समझ में नहीं आता। ऐसा लगता है कि देश में सिर्फ धर्म ही है।
डिसाइडेड ऑन 22nd देश किधर जा रहा है सज्जन कुमार?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 22nd, if you want to be democratically, sensitive and also want to do good politics, make 22nd a collective occasion. The political kind of calculation notwithstanding, and participate without the sense of grudge, without the sense of dilemma. Don't send the signal that you are doing it just for the sake of doing it. So there should not be a grudge, because mind it, all parties will try to encash and calculate the politics, but this is something which is going to be a historic moment. So good politics is be a part of it, make it collective, so that in future it doesn't. The moment you boycott it and the moment you try to bring if and buts, certainly you are keeping the politics of Ayodhya alive. And more than BJP, it would be the non-BJP parties who have a sense of grudge to the 22nd occasion that would be responsible, because it would be seen that you want the specter of Ayodhya alive for your captive vote calculation.
All right. So Ayodhya will perhaps see end of one nature of politics and beginning of another one. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuhin Sinha, Sanjay Jha, Mahua Maji, Dr. Sajjan Kumar and Pradeep Bhati. Today was also a very, very important day in India's space exploration. We'll try and get details on that after a short break. Stay with us. If 2023 will be remembered as a year when India went to the region never explored, Chandrayaan-3 landed down in the lunar South Pole region. 2024, first day, today, will be about India starting a new mission to solve what is among the oldest mysteries of the universe, black holes. The 260-ton rocket carries an advanced astronomy observatory meant to study black holes and neutron stars. With this, India has become the second country after the United States to have such a specialized observatory of this kind to study black holes. The PSLV rocket system has evolved as the most reliable and cost-effective one in the global scenario. The ExpoSat satellite cost around 250 crores, which is approximately $30 million. The NASA IXPE, which is on a similar mission since 2021, cost $188 million. Remember, India's is just $30 million. The Indian satellite is expected to last more than 5 years compared to the 2-year lifespan of the NASA IXPE. Let me bring in my guests now. Pallav Bagla is a senior journalist. We have Dr. Lizzie Abraham, Principal Investigator, VSAT. Tarun Shauradeep is Director of Astronomy and Astrophysics at Raman Research Institute. And we also have Annapurna Subramaniam, Director of Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Bangalore. Pallav, beginning with you today, first day, first show. PSLV journey begins in 1993. And it's about one history after another, after Chandrayaan and Ayodhya L1 mission by the Indian Space Department. Today was another day.
Oh, certainly. A glorious beginning to 2024. A new year, a new day, and a new mission successfully accomplished by ISRO. And like I have said, it is a hat trick by ISRO. These are days when hat tricks are being much talked about. So we had first Chandrayaan 3, a successful mission, then Ayodhya L1, a mission to study the sun, and now a mission to study black holes and neutron stars. So a celestial hat trick of sorts by the Indian Space Research Organization, which brings cheer and joy for all Indians. It's a very special mission. It not only had a satellite, it is also carrying a mini Indian space station of sorts, or an Indian space lab of sorts in the POEM experiment which is being done. So a very unique mission accomplished successfully by the Indian Space Research Organization. And now we have lovely guests on the show. The ball is in the courts of all the scientists to give us, unravel the truths and secrets of the universe.
So in this unraveling that Ms. Subramaniam that we'll be seeing, India's contribution in the space exploration, which has perhaps achieved another milestone after today. Would you say that because these are low cost as well in comparison to NASA, I did that comparison in terms of the money that is being spent, that's also significant because it gives us more room to explore more in the outer space?
Yeah, so India has been achieving consistently and also low cost missions, and low cost as such, any mission is being done from India. So it gives us more room, more space for more collaborations, more things can be done. And I think we are not cutting corners on anything, and we are doing an excellent job because missions are successful and we are exploiting them to derive excellent science from all of these. We can take example of AstroSat, which was launched 8 years ago. We're still in orbit, which is nominal lifetime was 5 years. It has already completed 8 years. And now we have seen Chandrayaan, and then Aditya is just about to enter the L1 orbit, and now ExpoSat. So I think they're all success stories.
Yes, one success story after another. Dr. Abraham, is it miracle of sorts that's happening? One day after another, 2023 has been phenomenal, and we enter 2024 on a very, very high note.
Yeah, for us, it is kind of a dream come true moment. It's kind of miracle. It's a New Year gift for us. It's a New Year gift for the entire world of women. So we are celebrating the success.
Yes, so tell us more. I mean, in the sense that what is the celebration like, and why do you think this is very, very special? Because I was reading some astrophysicists who said that today's launch was almost like a textbook launch. What made today's launch very unexpected?
Yeah, I think this is first of all a New Year gift and India's 60th PSLV mission. And in this 60th PSLV mission, not only Exposat, 9 other payloads are flying high in space in POEM platform. And this POEM platform itself is something unique where we can colleges like us, other startups and all can do some experimental modules and launch our own satellites or our own payloads in space.
So if we want to make this comparison between what India is on this march to achievements, Tarun Shauradeep, what would you say that in terms of, POEM in particular, what do you think will be India's key achievement in telling the story, which will be something that the space explorators world over would be looking out for?
So I would reiterate what Dr. Subramaniam said, Janmabhoomi, that it's very impressive that our space program has come to a point where, as scientists, we can dream of very path-breaking observatories that can take us at par with what is done at frontiers of science. And I won't talk too much about POEM, but Raman Research Institute is the institute which conceived, designed, and built the major science payload POLEX, one of the 2 science payloads on Exposat. And what to me is very impressive is we are now entering an era where scientists have learned how to deliver, and ISRO has opened the doors for scientists to come and sort of realize their dream projects. So going forward, I think this is an era we are entering with Aditya. Astrosat, of course, opened the door, and each has been having its own history, and we are slowly getting to the point where we are able to do this. Everything's coming together with science and technology at the institutes as well as ISRO being able to work together to realize scientific missions.
Yes, black holes have the highest gravitational force in the universe, and neutron stars have the highest densities. Why do you think gathering information has been so difficult? And this Exposat will have 5 years more life than NASA's IXPE, which has lifespan of just 2 years. Do you think that because it will be around for far, 3 years longer than what NASA had option of, it will be able to gather more information?
So it's not really a race for information. Oh, I'm sorry. Pallav.
Yes, Pallav Bagla. Yes.
India's Exposat should be able to gather a lot more information. There are 50 celestial objects the Indian scientists have identified, which are neutron stars and black holes and the adjoining areas which they want to study. So 5 years is a long time. They will get an extended period to study and unravel some of these mysteries and secrets. I would let the scientists on the show, like Dr. Annapurni Subramaniam, to answer the questions of what secrets they would reveal. But let me come back to the point of POEM which you were asking. A POEM is a very special part of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Usually the 4th stage of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, which is a 4-stage vehicle, would have become space junk and would have burnt out in space after a while. So there is certain stewardship which is being done by ISRO to reduce space junk and also to create wealth out of waste. So they've created a platform on which startups like the startup from the women-led initiative from Thiruvananthapuram, of which we have a guest here, and also of startups from Bangalore and Hyderabad, whose experiments have been carried. So essentially a low-cost, high value space asset is being used to create a platform which is almost like a mini space station or a mini sky lab. So ISRO has been very frugal and is delivering big bang for the buck. Really, what would have become waste has now been converted into wealth by ISRO. So this mission is giving far more value than just being a launch of the ExpoSat. ExpoSat is a very exquisite satellite. It's very hard to make a polarimetric satellite. That is why only NASA has been able to do. And now scientists from the Raman Research Institute and URSC have been able to do that. So it has taken 10 long years for the scientists to make this particular specialized satellite. It will give us great results. And I would let Dr. Annapurni Subramaniam to answer what secrets they would reveal and how would we get better
Okay, so-
information on the end of life of stars.
Okay. Dr. Subramaniam, please continue.
Yeah, so before start, I just wanted to add a few things on the POEM platform. It's actually unique, which we actually for testing, because it is important to raise the TRL levels of the small experiments people are building, including the startups. So how do you test it, whether it works? So you have to give, for a short time, it can be in space, and actually it can prove that it works or not. So in the previous mission, our own students made something, and it was actually the star sensor, which was tested there. So it's an excellent platform for increasing the readiness levels of the technology. So that is excellent part of it. Now coming to the science which will be done. So the most exotic and extreme objects in the universe, which are the remnants of, when the star explodes, you will have the central implosion taking place, and that will result in either neutron star or black holes. They're very, very dense systems. And this is actually taking the, the laws of nature to the extremes, so which you cannot see on the surface of the Earth. So if you want to study things around them, we cannot see them directly. We have to infer through the radiation which is coming from the surrounding region. And this is very highly complex. And X-rays are emitted only from the extreme conditions, like it can be extremely hot or a strong magnetic field, etc. Now, probing these are indirect. There are no direct probes to it. So we used to, in AstroSat also, we have X-ray payloads which actually take images of it. But over and above, what you need to do is that if you want to probe the physics, then you need to know how exactly these X-rays are produced. So this is the polarimetry, X-ray polarimetry is a very clever mechanism by which you can actually detect the incoming photon and interact it with the detector. And the pattern of the radiation which you collect tells you whether the coming light has a particular pattern of vibration. And if you, for an example, if you see the light coming from a bulb, it doesn't have the electric fields in the photon varies all in random directions. But when it gets scattered, the electric field has a particular direction. So it has some information. So the scientists are actually trying to identify the secret which is lying within the X-ray photons, which are coming from these exotic objects. So this is it's something in the nutshell. If you want to expand more, I can explain.
You have explained it very well, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dr. Lizzie Abraham, final words to you. We have seen women-led missions, and now another, and it gives me immense pleasure, and I'm honored that I have two women on this panel who have played a crucial role in this entire mission. So what was the moment like, Dr. Lizzie?
Yeah, we are really excited and thrilled because being a only women engineering college, women-led team, we faced so much difficulties. It was too difficult to convince others because being an average engineering college, we want to convince others to get funding. So it was too difficult, and we started this journey on the year 2018, and it is nearly 5 years. And first year we have developed this idea, and then this COVID pandemic affected, and then again we have to restart everything. And then being an engineering college, every year one batch of students get passed out, and then I have to groom another batch of students, and it's kind of again another difficult process. And sometimes it got stuck because of manpower, because of funds and all. So now on this new year, when I look back, based on all the challenges I have faced, I feel quite overwhelmed, and sometimes I am too much emotional. And now me and my students are really excited and thrilled. And now I am on the way back to my home from Sriharikota.
Yes, it's fascinating. I mean, 5 years ago, this journey began, Dr. Abraham, and look what you've achieved. Many who did not have faith in your dreams then, continue to invest and look. So what next for you? Tell me about that.
Yeah, actually, as I said, this is an experimental module like for engineering colleges like us and startups like other startups. They can just try this. And but this is kind of a unique vision because we are measuring ultraviolet radiations in space, like the XPOSAT measuring X-rays. And AWACE is kind of self-powered payload, and out of all the payloads, we are the first one got the telemetry data. And because AWACE is self-powered, just after opening the separation of the heat shield, we got the data just from around 100 kilometer above. So from 100 kilometer to up to 650 kilometers throughout the translation of the rocket, we got the data, UV data, which is kind of unique. So the next step is obviously making a standalone satellite to study the ultraviolet radiations and how it impacts how it impacts climate changes and warm weather conditions, particularly tropical states like ours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham and Dr. Subramaniam. Honor and pleasure to have you on this show. Pallav Bagla, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Tarun Soradeep, thank you for explaining this story and putting this in context for our viewers.